Hey everyone. Hey Instagram. Hey guys. Okay. I'm going to jump in here. This is going to be a pretty quick broadcast. I had done a poll in my group yesterday to see what everyone wanted to learn about first. And one of the most common answers was financial abundance. And I thought that it would be most helpful to talk about the reason why most of us don't have it, because we can fix that, we can control that. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. And like I said, I'm going to make this kind of a quick broadcast, but if you have questions, drop them over here. I am using this different app to be able to stream everywhere. Let's see. I can get it. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, it looks like it froze. If you have questions, drop them in the chat over here. Sorry, guys. It's giving me the circle. Okay. Okay, we're back. Okay. I'm so sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Okay. All right. So I'm streaming on all the channels right now. So if you have a comment, please drop it in the chat. I'm hoping it will show up. This is totally trial and error right now with what I'm doing with StreamYard. So, okay. So let's dive in. So talking about creating financial abundance in our lives, but most importantly, why most people aren't, the number one reason why most people don't, and how to fix that. We have complete control over this, but a lot of times I feel like we don't. So this is like really, really, really important, especially when we are creating our life that are by design, one that we want, not by default, right? So the number one thing that we have to do whenever we are aiming towards creating financial abundance is to get very clear on the story we're telling around our money. And this is, I'm going to tell you, this has been something that has taken me years, and actually probably until just last year finally came to a peace with it. Okay. And when I came to that peace, now it's like up from there. But it took me a long time to get there. My money story was really bad. Which is why I like had none. So, until recently, because I had to fix it. So whenever we are looking to shift our lives in a way that serves us, money is a big tool. Money is not everything, but it is a tool to get us what we want, right? It's a tool that we can use for good things, hopefully not bad things. I'm not going to try to educate you on how to do that, but things that you want out of your life, things that you want to do with your life. If you want to take your family on vacations every year, how are you going to do that, right? You're going to need some money. You're going to need that tool to get you there. How are you going to, travel across the world? How are you going to buy this dream house of yours, right? Money's a tool, okay? And we have to be able to utilize that tool in a way that serves us. And if we're not attracting it into our lives, it's going to be really hard to do so, right? And we're going to end up in this struggle mode, okay, which is what we don't want. So, figuring out if your brain is wired for financial abundance or not is the number one thing that we need to check in on, because when it is not, and this is easy to see, okay, and are you living it right now? Okay, are you on your path to it right now? Like, is it in front of you? Are you living it? If you're not, then chances are your brain is not wired for financial abundance, okay? And mine wasn't. Okay, so this is a complete transparency in my own personal experiences. So ask yourself these questions, and listen to that little brain, like little voice inside of your head, that is talking to you when you ask yourself these questions, okay? And one would be like, how do I feel about having a lot of money? Is there a lot of resistance that comes up whenever you ask that question? How do I feel about having a lot of money? Does it feel like it's out of reach? Does it feel like it's right around the corner? Does it feel like that'll never happen? So kind of get a sense of like where you're at with that process. Number 2 would be, do you know what you would do with it? What would you do with all that money? Okay, if you woke up tomorrow and you had $100,000 in your bank account, what would you do with it? Okay, money has to have a purpose. And 3, how are you treating money now? This is a really, 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 really good key point to figuring out if you're going to even attract more of it into your life, okay? If you're crumbling it up and throwing it in your purse, whatever, have it crumbled up in your center console or whatever, and you pull it out and uncrinkle it when you need it, chances are your relationship with money is not that good. And I say that as a relationship because that's what it is, a relationship with money. Money is energy, okay? It's not good or bad, it's energy, and the meaning that we give it is what it is, okay? So what you need to do is stop crumbling up and throwing it in places, okay? If someone crumbled you up and threw you in a corner, you would probably be really pissed off, right? So think about it that way. Think about it as if, it's your best friend, and treat it as such, okay? Like, fold it nicely, put it in your wallet, take care of it, make sure you're not, wasting it on whatever, treat it as if it were your best friend, and see the shift that happens, okay? And this has everything to do with how you feel about money. This is why, people don't really want to connect that, because a lot of people have really bad feelings about money. So they don't want to make that connection, and growing up, like that's when we adopt these money beliefs usually is, whenever we are growing up and we're watching our parents and their money habits, their financial habits. What are they doing with their money? Are they always saying that there's never enough? Or are they saying that there's plenty? Are they talking about it negatively as if it's causing pain? Because as a child, we connect to that, pain and money. We connect those dots pretty clearly, okay, as kids. If we see our parents fighting all the time over money, okay, if we see our parents upset because there's never enough or something, they're connecting that. And whenever we connect that as a child, that sticks with us until we rewire it, okay? And that's in our subconscious. And so we create those same patterns as adults. And this is a lot of times unconsciously because, again, it's just we wired ourselves that way through our parents. So it's really important, to understand where this started, maybe where your money mindset is, or try to get an understanding of why you're not living financial abundance right now. And it would be helpful to write it out, just write it out on paper. This is the easiest way to get to the bottom of things, is write down how your parents treated money. Write down everything you can remember about your parents and money. Maybe there were specific situations about how they could never afford something that you wanted, how you were always let down because it could never come through because there was never enough. I mean, these situations are key points, okay? So write down anything that you can remember. And as you go, you just might remember more and more and more, okay? So write that all out on paper and see how much your reality right now is mimicking that, is the same as they are. Are you living that same reality that they were living, okay, that you were growing up in as a kid? And I would see, also it's no one is not worthy or worthy, of money. And that's a lot of another thing that gets hung up on people, because as kids, if we were, told, well, we can't afford that, you can't have that, whatever, like all these things that make us feel unworthy of it, just little by little, like just think about it, you pile on the rocks and eventually, you get this huge pile, and this is what we have to work through as adults. So, you kind of got to pick away at those rocks, right? And just kind of crack open every single one and figure out what's in it and rewire it, because it's not serving you. Okay. So, nobody is more worthy than the other person. There is no one that is saying this person gets a lot of money, this person doesn't. But you have to have that, that connection to it. That if you're trying to imagine, if, you're trying to, I don't know how to word this. I'm really bad at analogy. It's like really bad. So I'm sitting here, I'm looking out my window. I'm like, all right, if I wanted to get through that window and I kept hitting, like, I just kept hitting a wall. Like if I was trying to throw a ball at my neighbor's house over there and there were too many windows in the way, right? Like it would never get there. There was like 50 windows in the way, right? Like you just keep bouncing back, bouncing back, bouncing back. I'm sorry for that terrible analogy. But you get what I'm saying. You're like chiseling away at a wall. You're not getting through, right? So, all of these things, we have to work through them as they come up, okay? And change our story. And a lot of times, whenever you are closed off from this, because like I said, money is just energy. If you are closed off from this energy, then you're closed off from it. It's not money's fault. It's not anybody's really fault, okay? But it's your responsibility to work through that and reestablish that connection. And if you're running around with the mindset of it's hard to make money, it's going to be hard to make money. If you run around with the mindset of it's easy to make money and it flows to me easily, it's going to flow to you easily. Okay, so it's just a matter of the story that you are creating within yourself. And whenever you are working through your financial mindset, guys, I went through this for years, okay? I was completely broke, right? Like, and then I manifested like $20,000 and blew it because I didn't think I was worthy of it, okay? Like, I did not believe I was worthy of it. And that's when I realized that I had to change something, because that was not okay. And if I was going to live the life that I knew I was here to live, and have all the things on my vision board, do all of these things, that require a lot of money, then I had to get my shit together. And I had to understand that I was worthy. So confidence has a big part to do with this, and confident that you can be trusted with it, and that was one of the biggest things that I had to work through, because I watched myself blow through 20 grand just like that, right? Because I didn't feel worthy of it. So by doing that, that kind of just reestablished the belief of, well, you're going to mess it up. You're not worthy of it. Okay. So, but that's what made me dig into this and really understand what were the gremlins in my closet when it came to money, because there was a lot of them. So, clarity and confidence play a huge part in this. And, if we don't have clarity on where we are with our financial mindset, if we are not confident that we can have our financial goals and achieve the financial abundance that we want to achieve, then it's not going to happen. Okay. It's not going to happen if you've been broke your entire life and you're like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to make $1 million, like this week. Like that's not how it works. Right. Unless you have complete no resistance to anything, right? But that's usually not the case. It usually takes some mindset work to be able to get to that point. Okay, so, the other thing is the number makes no difference. Whenever you are looking to manifest money, okay, it makes no difference. And I spent a long time. I took a whole financial mindset program a couple years back, and I learned a lot of things. But one of the biggest things was that manifesting and the number doesn't matter. It takes just as much energy to manifest $10 as it does $100,000. The difference is your mindset and your belief and confidence that you can do it. That is the biggest key. And a lot of it, if we have all of this proof showing how broke we've been our entire lives, it's going to be a little bit hard to wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm going to manifest $100,000. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying it's going to be a little bit more difficult for your subconscious to run with that. Okay, so that's why we've got to kind of start small, build that belief system, build that confidence within ourselves, and know that, guys, if I can do this and I can create financial freedom, financial stability, and financial abundance in my life, anybody can. Promise. Okay, I'm seriously. So that's why, within my 90-day program, this is a huge part of this. I spend a whole week on this, because in order for us to live our dream life and obtain our goals and not just look at them as pipe dreams, we have to have this confidence in this area of our lives. Okay, we can put all the pictures we want on our vision board, and some of them, yeah, they'll just come to you. Okay, but other ones you have to co-create, right? You have to be a part of this. And if you believe that you're not worthy, you're deserving of money for whatever reason, then it's going to be really hard. And that's not what this is about, right? It's either you decide if it's easy or hard. If money comes to you easily, or if money comes to you hard, or it's hard to attain it. It's your decision, right? So I had this one client last week that it was pretty amazing, because she reminded me of me 3 years ago. She didn't have a really great financial mindset. But she was willing to try. She was willing to dive in. She was willing to, try to do it, right? And she was like, Ashley, she's like, I have an opportunity that would change my life. She's like, and I need $2,600 to do it. She's like, I don't have it. I don't have, her bank account had like $86 in it or something, she said. So it was like, and so I said, all right. I said, let's set some intention setting. Intentions are different than setting goals and setting things, But anyway, so we did some intention setting, and she made it the intention that she would be living this opportunity within a week. And she needed, like I said, she needed $2,600. And within, was it 48 hours? It was within 48 hours. She texted me and said, oh my God. She's like, it showed up. She's like, it's here. It's here. She's like, I didn't even ask for it. So watching that happen to people is amazing. Okay. Because I know how that feels. Okay. I remember the first time I ever manifested anything was $28,000. Okay. And it's because I had no resistance to it. I didn't think it was possible. So it just happened. But anyways, so, and there's been a lot since then, because again, my belief in things, and you have to understand that you have to make yourself understand that it starts with inside of you. This starts with inside of you in order to create on your outside. So your inside world becomes your outside world. So the more you have, the more tools you have on your inside world, and the more fine-tuned your subconscious is to seek out money or to attract money, the faster it's going to happen for you, which is, pretty awesome. So it's all about your belief system. And, if we don't feel worthy of $10, then we're not going to feel worthy of $100,000. And there's a lot of things that I work through with my clients about that, taking you from, okay, the $10 to the $100,000, like getting to that point of saying, okay, yeah, I can do this. Okay. So it's really interesting. of what our minds are capable of. And I'll be completely transparent with you, as someone who is teaching this from the foundation of complete experience, I've really messed up a lot when it comes to my finances. And until recently, like I did not have all of my shit together. I did not have all of my ducks in a row. Because I thought it was outside of me, and I was still living that whole I'm inadequate, I'm not worthy of it, because XYZ happened. So and so told me so, because I didn't get things as a kid because, whatever. Like, you're gonna find all kinds of gremlins in your closet, but it doesn't the number in your bank account is not what's going to make you feel secure. That's not what's going to give you the secure feeling. It's what's going on in your mental space. Because I can tell you that, for that period of time that I had $28,000 in my bank account for the very first time years ago, I would wake up in a panic attack in the middle of the night because I would be freaking out about money. Why? Right? So that's when I realized, oh, hey, it had nothing to do with the dollar amount. It has nothing to do with it. It's all about what's going on in your mind. So that's why, and you can think about this way too. They say, like, a lot of times when people win the lottery, they'll just go out and either two things will happen. They'll blow it or they'll kill themselves. Unfortunately, that's, so people that win the lottery usually aren't wired for a financial abundance mindset, right? They don't have that abundance mindset type of thing, so they don't know what to do with it, right? They freak out, and that's kind of what happened to me. And, I took that lesson and I ran with it. I learned from it. I dug under it. I uncovered it, did all the things to fix it, because I knew I had to in order to live the life that I wanted to live. So, like I said, it doesn't matter, the number does not matter. It doesn't matter if there is $28,000 in your bank account. It doesn't matter if you want to manifest $100,000 or $10. It matters if you feel worthy of it. So having that mindset and having that confidence in yourself is what is going to shift the game. It's going to make results show up in your life. Okay. And that's the whole point, right? Because it's hard to have belief until we have results. So that's a little bit about what goes on in our brains. But yeah, so I hope that this helped you. It's really important. It's a really important thing. And again, this is what I teach. This is why I do it, because it's so important. It's so important. And because everyone needs to feel worthy and deserving, because we all are. No one is going to decide that you are and you're not, except for you. That is under your control. And no matter how many times you've been told you weren't, you have social proof that you weren't, you're not worthy, all these bad things happen to me. You can put it all behind you. You can use all of that as fuel to go the other direction and to take responsibility for yourself. Call yourself out on all the bullshit you've been telling yourself, the lies you've been feeding yourself, about why you don't deserve it, why you don't have it, all the things, and choose to dig in, uncover it. I'm not going to say that it's going to be the prettiest experience ever. You're going to find a lot of things in your mental closet that you're going to be like, what the hell? Why would I think that? I would go back to my childhood. I wouldn't go back, but as I was doing these exercises, I would find have these memories pop up of when this happened and this happened. I'm like, oh my gosh, like holy shit. No wonder why I was broke out of life. Right. So yeah, that's just, but we can fix that. So that is exactly why I have that as part of my coaching program, because it's just so important. It is so important. And money is wonderful. It's a wonderful tool to have, and think about it. How good are you doing the world if you're broke? I mean, really, like, if you're sitting there broke and you're worried about all these worldly problems, you're worried about, saving, I don't know, the whales, whatever. I don't mean that to be mean. I'm just saying, like, anything that's important to you, if you're sitting there and you're broke, you can't really do much about it, right? But if you can get your shit together and become financially abundant, you can do a lot of things. So that's what we got going on over here. That's what I want everyone else to have going on. So yeah. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want to dive in a little deeper, you can always schedule a breakthrough call with me. Okay. They're completely free and we can really dive into this. And if you want to work together past that, we can work together past that. Like, this is the grit. This is the stuff. And because I've been in it, I know it took me 10 years, guys, to get through all of this. So I have squished it down into 90 days. Okay. So 10 years of experience, trial and error. I know it works. I know it doesn't. So, all right. I'm going to jump off here. If you have questions, you can comment on this later or after, and I will jump back on and answer them for you. So, all right. Have a wonderful night, guys, and I will talk to you later. If it'll end. Oh my gosh. Okay.